In this video, I'm sharing the best daily frugal habits for this year. Number 7, reuse, repair, and repurpose. While this tip may be self-explanatory, it never hurts to mention it over and over again so you can build good habits. Reusing items can seem like a cheap thing to do, but it goes beyond saving money. For example, washing and reusing Ziploc bags doesn't only save you money, but it saves the environment too. Another example is to stop buying plastic wrap and use Tupperware to store food and keep it fresh. There are times when an item needs to be repaired, so always try to repair it if possible. For instance, why throw away a perfectly good pair of boots just because the Velcros aren't sticking anymore? It's not a hard fix, and for anyone who lives in a colder climate, boots aren't cheap. Items can sometimes lose their initial value and purpose, but it doesn't mean they're not useful anymore. For example, an old vase can be repurposed as storage if it's easy to access the things inside. Or you can use a smaller vase as a pencil and pen holder. Bonus tip: don't forget to maintain big-ticket items like a car, furnace, or fridge. Many of these items are relatively easy to maintain. For instance, my partner's dad changes our car's tires, oil, and brakes and saves us so much money. Or you can easily preserve your furnace for years longer by just changing the filter, which is as simple as pulling the old one out every 3 months and sliding a new one in. Spending $100 a year to avoid paying $8,000 for another 5 years is a great deal. Number 6, renegotiate. This is not something that's done every day, and not even every month, but it's always good to keep it in the back of your mind. There are a few places you can negotiate. Firstly, you can renegotiate your bills. There are apps that are totally free of charge who call all the companies you pay bills for and work to lower them for you. The only catch is that you don't keep all the savings, but instead, part of it goes to the company that's lowered your bills. According to CNBC, the best overall bill negotiator is bill cutters. You can also work to lower services, like if you go to a store, you can ask if there are specials or deals regarding specific services. For example, if you pay with cash, can you get an item cheaper? The reason why it's good to ask this is that most businesses usually pay for every single transaction that's done through debit. Number 5, track your spending. It can't be said enough, but tracking your spending daily is a highly effective way to stay on top of your finances. It also gives you a great view as to what days you tend to spend the most money, what you spend money on most frequently, and how much money you spend every day on average. For example, you may notice how often you spend money on coffee that you like to get at lunch with your food. This might prompt you to start bringing your own coffee in a thermos so you can drink as much as you like without spending more money. There are tons of budget tracking apps, or you can be simpler and track it on your phone or a little notepad. It's also important to save receipts, just in case you forget to track something for the day. While you can get away with not tracking your expenses every day, it's a good habit that can help you be more money conscious and generally live more frugally. Do you track your spending every day? Let us know in the comments below how it's helped you with your finances. Number 4, price check. Always price check on any items that you aren't going to consume or you wouldn't purchase pre-owned. The items depend on your level of tolerance. For example, some people refuse to buy a used couch, but some would. Regardless, if you're planning to buy a new item, it's important to price check through as many sources available to find what place offers the best price for the exact same item. Don't forget to include prices of shipping and any other potential services. There are instances where you may find massive deals, or you may notice a huge sale coming up shortly. I've definitely waited even a few months to reduce the price of larger ticket items, and I'll tell you that the wait is totally worth it. Number 3, adjust your thermostat. Did you know that heating and cooling easily make up the majority of your electric bill? In fact, it's estimated that 60 to 70% of the average heating bill is just for that. So don't get caught up in the idea of having a house at the perfect temperature. Instead, there are 2 ways that can help you reduce this major expense very easily. Firstly, whenever you're not at home, set the temperature of your home within 10 degrees of the temperature outside. This way, your AC and heating units won't have to work while you're not home, thus saving you costs on the utility as well as preserving the unit itself. Secondly, adapt your nighttime heating and cooling routine. For example, if it's the middle of winter and you're finding it really cold, instead of turning up the heat, just get an extra blanket or put on some warm socks. On the other hand, if it's very warm outside, take advantage of the fan. You'll be surprised how quickly you'll cool off when cool air is blown on damp skin. We've evolved to cool down this way after all. Number 2, buy generic. Do you know what you pay for when you buy a branded item? Most of the time, you're only paying extra for the actual brand. For example, something that I've been doing for years is only buying off-brand medicine because they literally have the exact same active ingredients, giving you the same remedy for a much cheaper price. Another example is food. Surprisingly, many branded foods are processed in the same factory as off-brand, so you're essentially paying more because it has a label with a brand that's popular. The question is, why would you pay more for a brand that offers the exact same content as an off-brand? It's because a brand establishes a connection with the consumers, you, through things like advertisements, making you subconsciously feel like a brand is more trustworthy. So the next time you shop, remember, a brand is just a brand, and you should only pay for the content. Number 1, eat what you make. There are a plethora of ways that this phrase can be applied, but I'll narrow it down to 2 easy ones. Number 1 is to make portions that you can eat without waste. I struggle to eat leftovers a lot of the time unless it's soup, stew, or some sort of chili. So one of the best things is to only make enough food to eat for the day. It takes a bit of practice to get the right portion size, but this way you won't make any waste. As a little tip, always add less pasta than you think you'll eat, since it expands as it absorbs water, leaving you with way more than you bargained for. Number 2 is meal prep. This is very beneficial for those who are busy and have large families. The reason is that you can make massive portions of meals that'll allow you to only cook once or twice a week while having lunch and dinner every night. If you're curious about some great recipes that are low budget and taste amazing, then get this video to 300 likes and I'll make a video about it.